Yep, welcome back to SeaBed. Last time we started the game, we've kind of been going back and forth through time, but we saw these two meet for the first time and be friends in high school, and then them going on a trip in some island in France or something. And there was this weird extra tips where we saw like someone looking at some sort of a room and like noting down items that were disappearing. Clover Design Office. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's it. Let's continue. Oh, we're still on vacation. Okay. I feel like I've heard this song somewhere before. Is this like a public domain song or something? I swear I've heard this somewhere before. Anyway. Huff. Takako jumped on the pier as our fishing boat drew closer to the shore. As the boat began slowing down, I threw Takako the backpack with her things. Ugh. Takako caught it without problems. I picked up my handbag and stepped on the pier next to her, my sandals pressing against the old wood with a dry creak. I swear I've heard this song, like, this song is so familiar to me. One second. This place looks nice. Takako glanced around the island we just reached. Oh, you're on another island. We're at the small inlet of an island, a short boat ride away from the port. Judging by the size and the arrangement of the ancient planks all over the place, I assumed the pier we walked on to be handmade. The water below the white wood was clear and translucent. One could easily spot bright red corals lining the seabed. Seabed? All visible to the naked eye. As I continued down the pier towards the beach, I heard the engine of the boat whirring to life behind me. Whirring? I turned around to see Takako changing a few words with the captain, then the boat drifted away. Takako waved the boat goodbye before making her way back to me, the dry wood of the pier creaking under each of her steps. I'd love to go swimming right away, but I think we should first find a place to leave our bags at. Takako, what are you doing? You're like on an island? Alone? Or Takako jerked her shoulders to fix the position of her bag. Good point. I think it's that way. Takako pointed toward the wooded area opposite from the sea, made up mostly of fern and palm trees. There was a barely visible dirt road leading into it, leading to the Ushiromiya mansion. There should be another wide beach beyond those and past the cape. I like the contrast between the backgrounds. We parted the veil of greenery to see the cape beyond it. I could hear the lively sough of the waves. What is that word? Of the wind in trees, the sea, etc. Make a moaning, whistling, or rushing sound. Okay. The bench on the other side was expensive and covered entirely in a white virgin sand, causing me to squint at the light reflected from it. A few light clouds languidly drifted along the sky. Crystal blue waves beat against the bright sand. Sachi, over here. I followed Takako down the grassy hill. The sand rasped under the soles of my sandals. The beach on this side was shaped like a big croissant, surrounded by high reefs on one side and a forest on the other. You are in France, right? The sea reflected both the blue of the sky and the green of the trees as it extended as far as the eye could see. Right in the middle, I noticed a roof. Oh, this is nice. It belonged to a small wooden water cottage with a thatched roof in the middle of the sea, connected to the shore by a sturdy looking pier. It also had a flower bed of large red flowers to the side of its door. Opening the door, Takako stepped inside. Are you staying here? What? This seems like it would be insanely expensive. The small room housed a double bed with a curtain, a couch, a table, a few chairs, and everything else to satisfy our furniture-related needs. All of the articles were in country style, giving the impression of dryness. I've never been to a water cottage before. Did you book this? Remember Mr. Tokuda from the yacht? The yacht? He lent it to us. Okay, so you're rich. Takako opened the fridge and inspected its contents as she replied, Thirsty? Yes. You okay with booze? As long as it's not strong, otherwise water it down a bit, okay? Okay, so you're presumably of drinking age. Takako threw her rucksacks on the bed and came to my side with 2 glasses of beer in her hands. Here. After handing one of the glasses over, she gestured towards me with the other. Our glasses met with a cheery clink. Oh. I was resting on the sheet while watching Takako play around, doing a combination of cartwheels, backflips, and then a backward somersault, but her hand slipped on the last one and she landed on her bum. Hey, stop that. I don't need you hurting yourself. I feel like it would be hard to do acrobatics on the sand. I gave her an indignant look as she came closer. Her silhouette blocked the bright sun, putting me in her shadow. She had fairly impressive abs for her age. Does she? I don't see anything here. I'll go take a swim. What do you mean for her age also? Have fun. She began running towards the sea, then stopped midway, came back, and sat down next to me on the shade in the shade of the trees. Sand's too hot. She was rubbing the soles of her feet, trying to cool them off. Need a pair of sandals? I gave the pair lying next to me a glance. Takako considered the sandals for a moment, then shifted her gaze to the sea. It won't matter once I reach the water. She stood up. I'll go take a swim. Have fun. Let's go swimming together later. Sure. She dashed across the sand-covered beach towards the sea. I lay down on my sheet. The leaves of the palm above me were swaying in the wind, occasionally giving a few glimpses of the blue sky beyond them. Sachi! Looking in Takako's direction, I saw her trying to keep her balance among the green waves as she attempted to put the water goggles on her face. She appeared to be saying something, but the sound of the waves drowned it all out. I can't hear you. There's some really beautiful fish and corals in here. You've got all of this to yourself? There is no one else here? You just have this entire beach just to yourself? As I cocked my head, Takako shouted in a louder voice. Seemingly satisfied that I waved back at her, she put her goggles back on and dived down in the waves again. As Takako disappeared with a splash, the sea returned to its prior calm state. The light tropical breeze disturbed the leaves and the water surface, carrying a pleasant kind of humidity and warmth. Splash! I absent-mindedly observed the somewhat boisterous calm of the tropical sea, as Takako's face popped out of it, sending a spray of water into the sky. She was quite a distance away from where she had initially submerged. I caught it! Takako began walking towards me, her leg piercing through the underwater currents. You caught the fish? She was carrying a large... What? you just grabbed the fish? She was carrying a large blue fish. Excuse me? There was this huge fish. She dangled it in front of me. How did you catch it? Yeah. Oh, okay, I guess we're skipping past that. I was gazing at the distance as a shadow fell on my face. It was Takako's face who had been gone to explore the island that blocked my sun. I feel like you're not really taking advantage of this this opportunity, Sachiko. Like you're just laying on the beach. Go have some fun, come on. Her hands reached out to me. It looks good on me. I touched my head to find a hibiscus crown on it. What is a hibiscus crown? Is that like... Okay, just like one of those flower things you put on your head. I found a cave down there. I want to go see. What do you mean a cave? Are you... What the fuck is going on? Are you guys fucking billionaires? Like, do you have this entire island to yourself? She gave me her hand and pulled me up. I think it'd be better if you put your sneakers on. As I was about to put on my sand-covered sandals, Takako placed my sneakers next to them. Sneakers. Are you trying to take me to someplace dangerous? Not really, but it's surrounded by cliffs and you might step on the shell along the way. I put on my sneakers while Takako picked up her tin beach coat. This smells fishy to me. I just don't want to get bit by bugs. How far is it anyway? About 20 minutes or so on foot, I think. I mean, they did say you can go around this entire island in less than an hour. She glanced down at her hand-drawn map. I leaned closer to inspect the collar of her coat and smelled the citrus-like fragrance of an anti-bug spray. We trekked to the cliff on the other side of the cave that we passed on our way to the beach, finding ourselves at what looked like a dead end surrounded by reefs. Is this really the correct way? If you go along that cliff, you should be able to pass along the sea, I think. Maybe it got sunk by a high tide or something. Wait. Takako went towards the cliff she was pointing at earlier. She stepped on the neighboring patch of water and kept walking. She took a few careful steps before turning back to me. I think we can pass through this. I followed her, the soles of my sneakers plasting at our slightly submerged bridge. Soon enough, we found ourselves at an expensive area on the other side of the cliffs. It was a huge shoal beach. A long bridge of sand extended to the sea in an arc. I'd never seen anything like this before. Should have brought my camera. Takako gazed into the distance. She then continued onward, stepping on a slightly submerged sand as she scrutinized the map in her hands. The sound of the waves felt more distant than before, the splashes of water below her feet drowning it out. The clouds drifted along the sky sluggishly and in a chaotic pattern. Uh-oh, is there going to be a storm? As I walked on, gazing at the emerald green sea, I suddenly felt like the waves on its surface were drawing closer and closer to us. Takako? Yeah? A drop of cold water landed on my head. Before we knew it, a huge shadow covered the beach we were on. There is. I glanced at the sky to see a massive storm cloud pass above us. Too bad you're alone on this uninhabited island. For some reason. Pit-pat, pit-pat, a few ripples extended across the surface of the sea, and in the next moment, it seemed as though a waterfall had exploded above us. Let's go to the woods. What do you mean, let's go to the woods? No, let's not. Let's go back to the cabin. Takako grabbed my hand and pulled at me inland. Well, that sure came out of nowhere. I'm all drenched now. I wonder if it's a squall. It feels like a typhoon. We left our things out in the open back on the beach. Yeah. Raindrops spattered against the leaves, giving the impression that someone was playing drums above our heads. Through the foliage above us, I could see a cloud sparkling in white as the sun rays pierced it. Takako sneezed. Oh. I can see a bit of your butt crack. I'm freezing. Just don't catch a cold in a place like this. As I leaned against a tree waiting for this to pass, Takako suddenly came closer and pressed herself against me. It's warmer like this. Hey! She pressed her breasts against mine. I could feel their softness through the swimsuit, our warmth blending together. Please don't take your top off. I don't want to have to censor this. As I had nowhere to escape with the tree trunk behind me, Takako began rubbing her body against me. Oomph! She kissed me on the mouth, still pressing against me. Okay, so I assume you're dating at this point. You're not just friends. Just for a little bit, please. I might really catch a cold if I get any colder. Takako smiled at me. The leaves suddenly rustled behind her and she turned around. I spotted something that looked like a big spider crawling along the ground, causing all my muscles to tense up for a moment. Oh, it's just a coconut crab. But as I looked closer, I realized it was just one of those crabs I've already seen all over this island. What? I would be way more freaked out seeing a crab on this island than seeing a spider. Hold it until we find our way back at least. I pushed Takako away. Geez, it's your fault. Takako gave the patch of grass that the coconut crab had disappeared into an indignant glance. Yeah, the crab kinda cock-blocked her. As I fixed my swimsuit, Takako gave her map a careful look before inspecting their island through the crack in the trunk. I gotta say, they've been very liberal with the CG so far. Like, that one CG lasted for like 20 seconds, and we're probably never going to see it again. And there's been a lot of CG so far. Usually when VNs have CGs like that, they like to keep it on the screen for a lot longer. they gotta get their money's worth. I can see the cliff from here, so I feel we're close. I think we can go a bit further and hide from the rain in the cave. That's a good idea. Is it? I wouldn't go in the cave in this situation. I would just go back to the cottage, but going to the cave seems a bit dangerous. But the thick foliage protected us from most of the rain, but a few cold drops still snuck through, falling on my neck. Takako pressed forward, pushing fern leaves out of her way. Ugh. She stumbled on the root of a green, moss-covered tree, but I caught her from behind. Look where you go, jeez. Thanks. We continued forward, fighting the leaves in our way. Are you sure we're going the right direction? I think it's just over there. I followed her gaze. Almost completely hidden by the surrounding greenery of moss and fern trees, we came upon a cave entrance. How did you even find this? Oh, come on. Takako jumped down from the rocky upper grounds we were on and extended her hand towards me. I slowly climbed down as well, but my foot slipped on the wet surface. I fell straight into Takako's arms. Oh, you're so soft. Oh, cut it out. As we descended into the cave, not protected by its sturdy roof, the sounds of the rain grew more distant. It's a lot more spacious than I thought. I could hear the sound of dripping water from somewhere. We noticed countless tunnels in all shapes and sizes a bit further down. Some were too small for even a person to squeeze through. Others were large enough for a car to fit. They formed a complex layout like weathered lava stones. Takako shot a few quick glances around the vicinity as she pressed forward. Is there something else you wanted to show me? There should be some fireflies here. You mean glowworms? That's what I was told. You wanted to see them, right? I saw a puddle of water right where she was stepping. Takako, wait. What? Her foot sank into the water. I was trying to tell you to be careful. Damn. There were countless gashes on the rocks we were walking on, and some of them were filled with translucent water. A few seemed deep enough to swallow you whole. The road into the cave was leading further and further down below. Okay, this is... I don't know if you have the required skill and equipment to do this this cave exploration, but I can barely see anything anymore. Now that's more like it. This is dangerous. I think we should turn back. Yeah, I agree. Let's just go a little further. Takako's voice reverberated across the countless tunnels, growing too garbled for me to make out. I'm too risk averse to do shit like this. Like, just fucking go into a random cave and start exploring while it's raining outside. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy shit. Did you say something? I stopped and looked at her. Look, there seemed to be light above a large black rock further down. I could see a few trees and a patch of white sky through a hole in the rock wall. A stream of water trickled down into the cave, splashing down like a waterfall into the pond it made below. The ceiling sparkling. Takako pointed at the many blue lights above us. As the storm cloud drifted over the hole in the wall, the cave momentarily felt dark, making the lights stand out even more. They looked like stars. I wish I brought my camera. I doubt we'll ever forget this, even without a picture. Oh. I guess they didn't get caved in. We got out of the cave, and after traversing the woods again, found ourselves on the beach where it originally started out from. As I walked closely behind Takako, we left a trail of footprints that made it seem like some four-legged animal had been prowling along the beach. But the waves soon washed them away. Do you think the twilight looks so vivid because the air here is clear of pollution? I gazed at the violet sea and the marmalade-colored sky stretching above it. Marmalade-colored. The refreshing breeze blew towards the west, leaving little wavelets in its wake. Takako raised both her arms as he stretched. I absent-mindedly gazed at Takako's marmalade-colored back and the violet sea while trying to hold down my hair in the wind. Takako's twin tails painted circles in the air as she turned her head. Her face lit up in joy as she spotted something and cheerfully trotted towards it. Wait, I just realized the sides are different, right? The sides are black now, but I set them to be, this, right? Oh, now it's back. Okay. I guess I have to do that every time I close the game and relaunch it. There was a tilted palm in the direction she was walking. An idyllic looking tree with its roots stretched all across the green carpet around it. Its tilted trunk stretched all the way to the white sand while the leaves shuddered in sync with the waves. Huff. Takako jumped on the trunk and began ascending it. What the fuck are you doing? The view is great from here. I wonder if it got tilted by the wind. The tree would shake with her every step as she balanced herself with outstretched arms. Don't come crying to me if you fall down. I got this. Just as she said that, her sandal slipped, sending her face first into the sand below, and she fucking cracked her spine and died it instantly. I fell. I can see that, you idiot. What were you going to do if you got hurt? I'm sorry. I handed Takako her sandal as he was patting the sand off her butt. Let's hurry back. Yeah. I took her hand and turned it back to the direction we came from. Can't believe I have to keep babysitting you even in a place like this. Takako kept her eyes on the palm as we walked. Wasn't there a picture of a palm tree above the wash basin at the place we used to live at? What? The place you used to live at? You used to live together? Wait, how old are you? Was there? Your resin began taking on an indigo hue. Now that you mention it, I think there was some postcard there, yes. I kept imagining what the real thing would look like as I washed my face. So now that you've seen it, how do you feel? Nostalgic. I see. A white seafowl flew off into the distance towards the sea. Let me write that down actually. Used to live together. It's not feeling being on an island that's not a single other person lives on. Okay, typo. Also, yeah, it is an odd feeling. But how fucking rich are you? If our boat doesn't show up tomorrow, the world will have 2 more missing person cases. Didn't we watch a movie like that back in school? God, that brings back memories. Remind me, what did the protagonist eat to survive? Mainly crabs and clams before he crafted hunting equipment. Well, we did meet that pesky little crab earlier. I said we should find it and cook it for dinner. Do you think you could recognize it? I memorize its face. What kind of face does a crab have? One with dim, uncomprehending eyes. I don't think you can tell them apart with just that. This place is full of fish and fruit too. I bet we could live like queens if we really wanted. Being able to let our hairs down at a place like this is nice from time to time, but it would be the end of us the moment we got sick or hurt. Yeah, you really wouldn't want to get sick here. And there's no bath around. I can build one for you. I hate cold water, so you'll have to collect firewood every day. Sure thing. I stepped on the pieces of coal scattered across the ground, crushing them into pieces before finally mixing them with sun. I'm sorry, you're actually doing it? I haven't finished tidying up after dinner. I picked up the antique can and returned to our water cottage. From the wharf, it looked like a lighthouse shining atop the Black Sea. I'm sorry. You like... Oh, I don't... Okay, when you say pieces of coal, I just assumed it meant like hot, like burning coal. But I think you mean like coral coal, like just on the beach. Okay, sure. Its light extended along the water, sparkling in concert with the waves. Okay, are you guys gonna have sex now, or? I opened the door to see Takako cleaning the wire netting with a brush in the kitchen. Putting the can back to its place, I opened the curtains and lay down on the bed. I turned on my side and closed my eyes for a few seconds until the springs of the bed creaked. Oh, they are. I felt Takako's breath, who seemed to have finished her cleaning, tickle my neck. A moment passed and her lips pressed against it. Southern Count. Oh. What's with this all of a sudden? You said we could do it when we got back. Takako pulled me closer to her, placing one of her hands on my breast, while sneaking the other under my clothes, trailing it down along my belly. We can if you insist, but are you sure we can dirty the sheets here? Oh, are they cleaning the sheets? Is that what that sound is? I sat up, parted the curtain slightly, and stepped outside. Did I need the Steam patch to have seen the sex scene, or is it just not in the game? Where are you going? Takako, who had been sleeping until now, reached out to me. I want some air. Wait for me. I turned away from Takako and stepped outside onto the terrace. I sat down, making myself comfortable on the wooden beach chair covered by striped cloth. Pressing my hands on my belly, I gazed up into the sky. The Milky Way stretched before my eyes, beautiful enough to make me feel like I was looking at a photo album. The stars glittering across the surface of the dark, azure waves sparkled like a collage of tiny gems. You're gonna catch a cold if you sleep here. Takako sat down on the beach chair next to mine. I'll go back after watching this. Why don't you have a look too? I picked up the pamphlet, opening up the page with the descriptions of constellations, and handed it to her. Alright, the sky's different on the southern hemisphere. Let me just Google something real quick. I'm trying to look up how expensive it would be to fucking rent out an entire island in France. Like, $20,000? Honestly, that's like less expensive than I would have expected. Private islands for rent. Wait, this is way cheaper than I expected. 8,000 euros per week? Okay, this isn't a private island though. I want like a fully uninhabited island. Like this. Okay, $3,000 for... Okay, no, this is... Yeah, this is in France. $3,000 for 5 nights? Wait, this is so cheap. Okay, never mind. I'm just making this shit up. This is way cheaper than I expected. Wait, I should do this. This seems fun. This island doesn't look nearly as beautiful as the one they're on, though. For an island like the one they're on, that's like fully tropical with like fucking caves and like palm trees and shit, it would be a lot more expensive than an island like this, but... Okay, I guess it's not as expensive as I thought. Okay. Alright, the sky's different on the southern hemisphere. Wait, are you in the southern hemisphere right now? Chameleon, Mansa. Wait, I thought you were in France. Are you not in France right now? I guess the only reason that I think you're in France is because when you were at the airport, it said you had a flight to Paris, right? Or no, it was on the intercom, right? That said it was a flight to Paris. So maybe that wasn't even their flight. Maybe they just took a flight somewhere else. Okay. They're somewhere in the southern hemisphere, I guess. Okay. Chameleon, Mansa, Octans, Apis. You can't see those 4 back home. These southern constellations should have weird names. It seems like most southern constellations were named during the Age of Discovery. It was during that time that European sailors first arrived on these shores. So unlike the northern constellations that were usually named after ancient myths and legends, the southern ones were named after shipwrights, scientific tools, and newly discovered animals. That's interesting. Over there, Takako pointed to a spot just a little east of the Centaurus constellation. There are many bright stars over there. Is it a constellation too? I think it's the Southern Cross. The one on the coins, right? Going clockwise from the bottom, it's the Southern Cross. Crosses Alpha Star, Beta Star, Gamma Star, and Delta Star. I'm something of an Alpha Star myself. What's that in the middle? It's the Southern Cross's Epsilon, I think. It looks pretty bright from here. Kinda. The reason the Southern Cross is easy to spot is because its Alpha Star, Alpha Crucis, and its Beta Star, Mimosa, are among the 21 first magnitude stars in the sky. And I just know this for some reason. You sure know a lot about this stuff. It was all written on the pamphlet. Takako turned the pamphlet over and gave it a long, hard look. Incidentally, Alpha Crucis is 321 light years away from us. So its light comes from 300 years before we were born, huh? So you're 21 years old right now? Okay. 21 years old. Takako picked up a glass from the table next to her and raised it to eye level. 300 years. She tilted the glass slightly. I regarded her for a few moments until she started to blush. Medic, I need help. It's too late. Might as well give up. Okay. If you know you won't be able to finish, don't even start. Well, it's just the two of us here anyway, so nothing to be too self-conscious about. Just don't make a fool of yourself in front of people next time. Maybe an alien 321 years in the future will be watching. But we need one amazing telescope to achieve that. Okay, I'm sorry, what are they talking about? I don't understand what they're talking about. Medic? Is she talking medic, I need help because she was blushing? And what do you mean might as well give up? What do you mean you won't be able to finish, don't even start? I'm not sure if I'm supposed to not understand what they're talking about, or if I'm just misunderstanding the scene right now. Don't make a fool of yourself in front of people next time. Like, what are they talking about? Okay, here they're talking about like an alien from like the star they were looking at would be looking at them and they would see what they look like now 300 years from now. I get that. Okay, anyway. Well, you know what they say, even the walls have ears. God might have still been watching us or something, right? Maybe. Maybe. Are they talking about me? Hello. If we place a huge mirror on that star, would we be able to see this beach from 642 years ago? Yes. I think. The answer is yes. Perhaps. If you want to test that, how about trying with multiple mirrors and an even better telescope? I see. Wait, is that Takako's hair at the bottom here? That's like peeking out? I see. As Takako fell and taught, sounds returned to her tranquil abode. Although it was already too dark to see, I could hear the incessant sound of waves crashing against the beach and the poles supporting our cottage. If I listened more carefully, I could also make out a cacophony of fauna and the rustling of trees from the beach. Sachi. I shifted my gaze back to Takako and found her looking directly at me. What? I don't have a mirror here, so just look at my eyes for a little. Anything? It's too dark to see. I'm not surprised. Your eyes are darker than the night itself. Yeah. Oh. Wow, they seem like really good roommates. Oh. Are you at a funeral? Okay, that's a new character. It's interesting how the sound, like, at the beginning, like, the sound transitioned from the sound of rain to the sound of a shower. And even then it says, like, it refers to the water from the shower's rain. I turned the handle to stop the rain. Several drops of water trailed down my body and fell to the bathroom floor. Let me write... Funeral, question mark? Woman with short hair. Several drops of water trailed down my body and fell onto the bathroom floor. The faint afternoon glow filtered in through the small bathroom window and met the steam inside, blanketing the room in a pale blue light. A rubber duck was floating in the half-filled bathtub I'd forgotten to unplug. After gazing at it for a few moments through half-shut eyes, I lifted a towel off the rack and left the bathroom while scrubbing my skin with the thing. Once I felt dry enough for comfort, I put on the underwear I left on the dryer. Okay, this is so nitpicky. I don't understand how this works. So was she taking a bath or was she showering? Because you say you have a rubber ducky in the bathtub, but then you say you turned... You're like stopping the shower at the beginning. Were you taking a shower while the bathtub was filled? For some reason? Ouch. I hit my shin against a box in the corridor while drying my hair. I raised my hurt leg and proceeded to hop the rest of the way on one foot, taking a roll of packing tape out of the way in the process. Also, are we Takako or are we Sachiko right now? Out of the multiple boxes in the corridor, the one I collided with had yet to be fastened. Takako's sunflower-themed shirt stared back at me from inside. Okay, we're Sachiko. I opened the door at the end of the corridor, and upon entering the living room, turned left to the kitchen and peeked into the fridge. Okay, so... the fact that Takako's shirt is in a box that is on the floor, does that mean that she's moving out? Or does that mean that she died and you're taking care of her stuff? Like, what is this implying? After grabbing a bottle of barley tea from inside, I closed the fridge's door. Let me... I took a glass cup from the cupboard, filled it up with tea, and gulped its contents down in a single breath. After refilling my cup and returning the bottle to the fridge, I continued to the living room with the glass in hand, where I picked up the remote from the table and flicked on the TV. I pulled out the makeup box and the air dryer from the cabinet and made myself comfortable on the sofa. I began drying my hair, catching only short bits and pieces of what the news anchor on TV was saying. Finishing that, I changed into a pair of jeans and a colorful tunic before finally leaving the house. That will be 300 yen. Okay, so you're in Japan. I placed the coins I had prepared as I waited in line into the tray. Thank you very much. The clerk took care of the basket while I picked up the paper bag. I left the general store and continued down the sidewalk. It was now illuminated by a slightly stronger light compared to the morning. As a traffic signal between the police station and the department store lit up in green, a mass of people who had been waiting for it jerked forward like a wave. I tried to overtake a man in front of me, our shoulders bumped. It seemed like the amount of people doubled here during afternoons. I continued crossing the street, looking down at the shoes of the people ahead of me as my paper bag bumped into someone to my side. I stopped and placed my paper bag into my handbag. What's in the paper bag? You'll get hit by a car if you keep spacing out in the middle of the street, Sachi. I raised my face in response to clearly hearing my name. However, the person to whom that voice belonged to was nowhere to be seen. I turned to a narrow alley between two large buildings, leaving the street behind me. As I continued on, I glanced at my wristwatch. Okay, so definitely getting feelings that Takako died or something, or she like disappeared or something. Seeing the time, I decided to hasten my pace. Oh. Dude, this song too. I swear I've heard this song somewhere before. I swear. Maybe I'm making this up. Anyway. The bell above the cafe's door gave off an energetic sign as I stepped inside. As the establishment's front door was down a short flight of stairs below street level, it naturally had no windows and was dimly lit inside. The wall lights would be on all the time, coloring the interior in red and orange. I continued further into the shop, my footsteps silenced by the lush carpet. Sitting at the round table next to a wall behind a row of low handrails barely reaching to my waist, a red-haired woman, Narasaki Hibiki, raised a hand to catch my attention. Narasaki Hibiki. Red-haired woman. Was that the woman we saw at the funeral? I think it is. Over here. I went up the steps to her table as she folded the newspaper she had been reading. I thought I came early. My appointment today finished early, so I thought I might as well come ahead of you. There was an empty milk pack, a half-finished cup of coffee, and what looked like a cake plate in front of Narasaki. Wait, milk? Are you the one that put the milk in the baseball field? There is nothing but a silver paper. What is a silver paper? And a few crumbs left on it. Narasaki wore a lab coat over her pale blouse and skirt. You came in your work clothes? They're the best clothes I have. I sat down facing her, the dim light from the walls following her white coat, dyeing it a pale hue of orange. Please don't tell me that you're a time travel scientist or something like that. So you really did become a doctor? You didn't believe me? Narasaki stretched her back. It suits you. I'm glad to hear that. Narasaki curled her lips slightly, letting out one of her characteristic sighs. I hope I didn't ruin your schedule by contacting you out of nowhere. Don't worry about it. It's been a while since we've last seen each other, so I was curious about you myself. When was it? Back in elementary school? You don't remember? I narrowed my eyes, counting through my memories, but Narasaki gave me a dismissive wave of the hands. It's okay, not like it was anything important. If you say so. Sorry about that. Doesn't remember when they met. Or when they last saw each other. Sorry, I'm just trying to, again, this is the same issue I said last time, like, from this conversation, I'm not sure who contacted who. Because I'm not sure who said this line. Okay, no. Sachiko was the one that contacted... Yeah, Sachiko was the one that contacted Narasaki. Because here she tries to remember. So that means that she is this person. Okay. The waiter placed a cup of steaming coffee in front of me. He then placed a cup full of sugar cubes and a small milk bottle next to it, before wordlessly returning to the counter. I stirred my coffee with a spoon, creating a miniature whirlpool in the middle as I poured some milk into it. My small white whirlpool kept on spinning. As I sat there, satisfied with my whirlpool, I heard Narasaki chuckle. What? Oh, don't mind me. Her eyes were fixed on my hand, stirring at the white coffee. What the fuck is that about? I left the spoon on the tray and took a sip from my coffee, letting its familiar bitterness spread across my mouth. I felt as though Narasaki was snickering at me again. They have good cakes here. Do you want me to guess what you've ordered? Try your luck. A rare green tea flavored cheesecake. How did you know? You can tell from the wrapping paper. Oh, she's a detective. Oh. Narasaki picked up her own cup. Did you like it? Yeah. Particularly the cream. I wonder if they use condensed milk with it or something. It tasted a bit like mochi ice cream they sell back home. Now that you mention it, that sure brings back memories. You think they make their cakes here? No, they bring them over from the cake shop next door. It's part of the same brand. If you like it, you can buy something there on your way home. I personally recommend the sunflower. What kind of cake is that? It's a fruit cake with a chocolate base. Lots of cream in it too. I see. You're something of a fruit cake yourself. I'm sorry, that was out of line. Maybe I'll check it out. I recommend it. As the background music that filled the shop slowly faded out, a melody of some classical piece soon took its place. Narasaki looked around the shop. Something wrong? I just thought it was pretty convenient for a cafe and a confectionery to pair up like this. Does such a thing as an inconvenient pairing even exist? There's a place near where I live that runs both a cafe and a barber shop. I guess you can enjoy a drink while you get your hair done, but that means there's little point in going there if all you want is a cup of coffee. Perhaps they have something to make it compelling. You can never tell unless you go check it out yourself. I feel like that would be gross, like some of your hair would fall in the food, or in the coffee. I guess it needs further investigation. Glancing at my wristwatch, I noticed how almost half an hour had already passed. We've only been chatting for half an hour, so don't worry. Seems so, yeah. You've been here for half an hour? I feel like it's been like 2 minutes. You keep checking the time. Are you in a hurry or something? Does it look that way? I thought it was normal. I should have contacted you earlier, but you always end up having some sort of work pile at the worst of times. Yeah. You're busy? I've had my hands full lately, yes. With work? Yes. I've heard you were in the design business. Oh, I see. Design business. That's right, I'm running my own company. Oh, who told you? Fucking Rosa over here. Good question. I don't quite remember anymore. I see. Okay, that is suspicious. Someone told her. I see. Is your office nearby? Yes. And can you make a living off it? I get by. I'm getting less offers compared to before the economy crashed. There's still enough of a demand. Before the economy crashed? When does this take place? I don't think... the economy crashing doesn't make it that obvious since it takes place in Japan. Well, it's just me and 3 employees, so it brings in enough money to sustain 4 people at least. So you were saying you're getting less offers, but you're actually getting busier? Pretty much. Things got more hectic after Takako disappeared. Oh, she did disappear! Well, okay. It wasn't easy finding someone to fill her spot. Disappeared? Yes. Do you remember her? I remember the 3 of us playing together when we were kids, yeah. Yeah, that's her. We even started the company together, but then she goes and vanishes without a trace during a crucial time like this. Just how uncontrollable can she be? She drives me insane sometimes. Narasaki let out a small chuckle. Okay, but that isn't like a, oh, there goes Takako again. That is like, call the police. Like, is she dead? I see you've got your plate full. You can say that again. You're not feeling exhausted lately, are you? Have I been acting strange or something? Not really, but you've always had trouble saying no to people. I mean, we made you act as class president and run the club as well. I was worried you might be putting too much burden on yourself again. You didn't make me do anything. I did all that voluntarily. Well, in any case, overworking yourself is a surefire way to build up stress. I suppose you're right, but I'm not stressed out. My job is pretty much my hobby anyway. Glad to hear that. You work at a psychiatry clinic around here, right? Narasaki, still holding her coffee cup, shifted her eyes from the menu to me. Yeah, so you listen to people with mental problems like schizophrenia or chronic depression, analyze them, and give them advice on what to do? Something along those lines? I see you're watching the same TV shows as me. We have a case or two like that once in the blue moon, sure, but most of our patients are senile old folks who come to talk about their grandkids, or housewives complaining about their daily chores and husbands. Usually, all you have to do to fix their problem is to hear them out. Hard to believe the girl we played doctor with as a kid actually became one. Yeah, I don't think psychiatrists wear like lab coats, but whatever. Narasaki ran her hand across her face. Our little clinic is hardly an establishment to brag about, really. There's a big hospital nearby, so we get very few people. You wanted to become a doctor ever since then? Who knows, maybe. I don't remember. Narasaki placed the empty coffee cup back on the tray. I just like observing people. I believe that nothing happens without a reason. So when someone starts raving or acting in contradiction to common sense, I can't help getting curious about the underlying cause. It's probably the main reason why I became a psychiatrist. I see. So I thought you wanted my help with something. Once we're done engaging in small talk about our jobs, Narasaki swiftly shifted the main subject at hand. Yeah, Narasaki, I need you to build a time travel device so I can go back in time and stop my girlfriend from disappearing. Did you have any patients suffering from hallucinations? Are you seeing any? I think it's probably because of exhaustion, but... Narasaki slowly leaned her head forward, seemingly deep in thought. Her forehead almost touched a cup on the tray. Do you remember the fits I had as a child? You had fits? Did I never tell you? Well, my ears would sometimes begin ringing, and nothing I did would make it go away. Huh. You know, I wonder if the tips scene we saw last time, with like the person like examining the room, I wonder if that was you doing. Oh, I don't have my mouse on the screen. I wonder if that was you doing that. I wonder if that was Narasaki. Narasaki paused for a few moments, and after giving me a brief look, parted her lips to speak. Now that you mention it, I think I remember you telling me that. Ringing in the ears, huh? She mused. Yeah, I thought it would drive me crazy. But that could be explained by acoustic hyperesthesia. Can you tell me how exactly it would manifest? At times, I'd wake up at night and hear all the sounds around me as if they were amplified. I'd feel like my head could burst at any second. The shorter fits would pass after a few minutes, but some of the longer ones could go on for over half an hour. I realized my right hand was unconsciously touching my ear. I stopped having them around elementary school, but they came back recently. You might want to make a visit to an otorhinologist, just in case. I've already been to one, and they couldn't find anything wrong with my ears. But they told me to come back if the symptoms grew worse. Narasaki regarded me in complete silence and stillness. Will you? Neither the ringing nor its frequency changed at all, but I also started hearing Takako's voice in its place. Narasaki slightly furrowed her brows. You sure it's not just your imagination? I mean, it is her imagination. That's why she's asking you, right? If she thought it was a real ghost talking to her, then she wouldn't be asking a psychiatrist. I can hear it very clearly. I emphasize the word clearly. Do you think it's an auditory hallucination? Narasaki inhaled a breath and crossed her legs again. Well, if you hear something that cannot possibly be there, then it would probably be classified as that, yeah. I guess an otorhinologist couldn't help you with that. And can you? Auditory hallucinations can be a symptom of schizophrenia, but based on our little chat today, I'm not seeing anything in you that would support such a diagnosis. And it doesn't seem to be having a severely adverse effect on your lifestyle. That seems like a pretty, what's the word? Like, I'm not sure you have enough information to make a statement like that you don't have schizophrenia. I feel like you would need a little more investigation to make such a claim. And it doesn't seem to be having a severely adverse effect on your lifestyle either, as you appear perfectly aware of the fact that there are hallucinations. Also, isn't it like completely illegal for a psychiatrist to do like treatment or like diagnosis like this on a friend? Like, this is, I think you're breaking a lot of rules here, Narasaki. I think I'm gonna need to report you to the fucking whoever is taking care of this. I'd have to get your license revoked. In short, I think you might just be exhausted. I see. We've had a lot of folk with work-related adjustments disorders lately. Most of those can be cured with a few weeks of vacation. You should probably not worry about it too much unless it starts affecting your life. So it's best if I don't think too much about it? Basically. Okay, I understand. Thanks. I feel a bit better now. If those voices you hear become worse for whatever reason and you get worried again, you can always come straight to my clinic. What that? She stuck a hand. Isn't that not allowed? Isn't that a huge whatever? She stuck her hand in her pocket and pulled out a business card. Narasaki Mental Clinic. Like, isn't that a huge conflict of interest? Like, I feel like to have your doctor be someone that you know personally, that you've been friends with since you were a child, I feel like that's not allowed. Psychiatrist Narasaki Hibiki. I had the address written on the other side. Could I get your card too, if that's okay? I wonder if I have any left. I picked up my handbag from the sofa and put on my card holder. However, no matter where I looked, I couldn't find any of my cards. I'm sorry. Don't sweat it, but remember to keep one on you the next time we meet. Couldn't find her business card. Okay. And I want to hear more about your work too. If that's what you want. Oh, theory time. Maybe Sachiko is just completely lying about what she does for a living, and she doesn't have a business card, not because she forgot it, but because she just doesn't have any. Because she's just lying. Realizing that my coffee cup was empty, I promptly pulled my hand back. The trail led out at Low Creek as Narasaki crossed her legs again. What time is it? I instinctively glanced at my wristwatch again. 8:30. Oh, that late already? This place has neither clock nor windows, so I guess that's just how they roll. Narasaki picked up her wallet from the table and, after glancing at the receipt and taking out the amount indicated, returned it to the handbag she kept next to her. Going already? I've still got to drop by my clinic tonight. I see. What about you? Lifting her handbag from the seat, Narasaki gave me a brief glance. I think I'll relax for a few more minutes. Hearing that, Narasaki made a short pause before speaking up again. It's been a while since I had fun like this. Me too. About what we discussed. Remember, if you're still worried, you can always come by my clinic. Thanks. I'll do that. As she left the shop, Narasaki placed a palm on the back of her neck, then slid it down to wave me goodbye. I spent some time absent-mindedly gazing at the empty space in front of me that Narasaki used to occupy. After shifting my gaze to the empty cup, I finally stood up, picked up the receipt, and continued to the counter to pay for my drink. The streets outside were already covered in darkness, with the neon signs of shops illuminating my way. I turned around and saw myself reflected in the window glass. There were faint black spots below my eyes, making me look a bit like a ghost. Wonder what happened to Takako. What the fuck is this music? Okay, I guess you really do work at an office. Okay, let's save and stop here for now. So it seems like it is going where the direction I said. Like, I think there is some like time travel or like parallel dimension, or like there's something like that going on, right? With like her getting whispers from Takako and Takako just disappearing out of nowhere one day. Surely you've like contacted the police, right? You haven't just like assumed that she left on her own. Surely you like told people about this, right? I feel like you should be more freaked out about this than you are. Especially since she's your girlfriend, right? I wonder if we're missing context that would make it easier to explain why she isn't as freaked out as she should be. Also, Takako doesn't have her hair in a twin tail here. She's had her hair in the twin tail in every other sprite we've seen of her. Anyway, yeah, gonna stop here for now. Yeah, I'm liking this so far. Curious to see where it's gonna go. Alright, see you next time.